Clash Royale is somehow 10 years old. And somehow, the updates keep getting worse. Chest removal, season shop deletion, elite wildcards, evolutions. Every one of these should have killed the game, but they didn't. Why? Because Supercell has been quietly reshaping Clash Royale's entire DNA, one controversial update at a time, without losing the player base. Today we are digging into the biggest update disasters, how Clash Royale survived them, and why level 16 is not what you think it is. This is the untold truth behind Clash Royale's survival. 2016 marked the launch of Clash Royale. It started off as a pretty simple game, with just 42 cards, 14 common, 14 rare, and 14 epic. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. The King Tower level was capped at level 12, and the Princess Tower didn't even have separate tower levels yet. The tournament level was capped at level 8, which probably no one even remembers anymore. Back then, the game felt fresh, exciting, and most importantly, fair. Players could compete without feeling like they needed to empty their wallets just to stand a chance. In just 3 months, on the 3rd of May 2016, a bunch of new cards were added to expand the roster, and a whole new King Tower level was added, level 13. But the game was still quite new, so no one complained about it. The player base was growing rapidly, people were still heavily invested in Clash of Clans, and Clash Royale was simply another good game made by Supercell. The addition of level 13 felt natural. It was part of the game's growth, not a cash grab. A year later, in March of 2017, they added a button to view the tournament level stats of any card. This feature really grew onto people's minds, and the importance of higher level cards was starting to gain serious attention. Having all cards at tournament standards was becoming a must for anyone who wanted to compete in challenges and tournaments. This is when the competitive scene truly began to take shape, and players started understanding the difference between casual ladder play and serious competitive gameplay. In September of 2018, the game underwent a massive change. All card levels were rearranged to make the max level the same as that of the King Tower, level 13. This change was very crucial to Clash Royale's history, as it created a lot of drama within the community, and many players found the change unnecessary. They felt that it removed the nostalgic feel from the game, the uniqueness of having different max levels for different rarities. Players who had invested into maxing commons to level 13s, rares to level 11, and epics to level 8 suddenly found their progress standardized in a way that felt less rewarding. This move made things significantly easier for the Clash team though, which remained completely unnoticed by anyone at the time. Earlier, adding new card levels was tricky because you had to consider different max levels for each rarity. After this update, it became simple. A new King Tower level meant increased level for all the cards across the collection. This structural change laid the groundwork for every controversial level increase that would follow. OG players would remember this. Earlier, the tournament standard used to be level 9, and it was changed to level 11 in 2021. This change wasn't heavily revolted against because there was another major change gaining all the attraction and criticism, that being level 14. But unlike level 14, this channel doesn't get hate and people really do enjoy our content. You could subscribe for some similar epic and sometimes spicy content. Level 14 was introduced in October of 2021, along with the addition of Champions, a completely new card rarity. No one liked the idea of adding another level as it would increase the pain of upgrading new cards by one whole new level. The grind that players thought they had completed was suddenly extended by months, if not years. Many content creators had already spent thousands of dollars to max their accounts and were extremely hesitant to spend more, especially as the game wasn't outdoing other Supercell games like Brawl Stars or Clash of Clans in terms of popularity or revenue yet. Amidst all the chaos and fierce opposition from the community, we witnessed Supercell's power to completely drown out all those voices and introduce not just a new level, but an entirely new rarity of cards as well. The champions, Archer Queen, Golden Knight, and Skeleton King, became the face of this controversial update. This was a major change that fundamentally altered the game's progression system, making it significantly slower for newer players. It made legendary cards feel less rare and special when there was now an even higher tier above them. Opening chests became even more boring and unrewarding when you realized you were now grinding for yet another rarity on top of everything else. To counter this massive backlash, Supercell made it so that for tournaments, any level of card would automatically scale to level 11, whether it was level 9 or level 14. Earlier, only cards above level 11 would cap down to level 11, while underleveled cards stayed at their actual level. This change was not noticed significantly by the community at the time, but it has surely left its mark, as seen in the steadily increasing participation in global tournaments. Players finally had a place where skill mattered more than card levels or, well, credit card levels, and the competitive scene flourished because of it. Some more big changes were yet to hit the game, as it was starting to generate more and more revenue for Supercell. Card evolutions, tower troops, Goblin Queen's Journey, and the complete disappearing of the classic chest system. All of these updates were opposed heavily by a large portion of the gaming fandom, but none received as much backlash as the introduction of level 15, which was dropped on the 9th of June, 2023. Every single player had gotten completely used to level 14 being the highest level in the game, and level 11 being the tournament standard. The game felt stable. Players had a clear goal. Supercell decided to add a new level, claiming, quote, their players liked progression, and that's what our data says, and they went ahead with their decision, showing absolutely no mercy to the players who had just finished maxing their accounts to level 14. The addition of Elite Wildcards was yet another new feature added to the game, which the players immediately hated. No one wanted another currency cluttering their inventory, after gold and gems were already there. Many players and prominent content creators fought the change, with large creators like B-Rad never leveling up to 15 to leave a permanent mark of protest. The initial days of the update were absolutely horrendous. Gaining EWCs was an impossible task, with conversion rates so terrible that free-to-play players would be able to upgrade only about 6 cards per year. Keep in mind that there were well over 120 cards in the game, meaning it would take you roughly, 20 years to max out your entire collection as a free-to-play player. The frustration in the community was mathematically justified and backed by cold, hard numbers. The game was already losing popularity to competitors and even other Supercell titles, and this update seemed like it would be the final nail in the coffin. Players were quitting in droves, review bombing the game on app stores, and content creators were making videos explaining why they were stepping back from Clash Royale. Or so everyone thought at the time. Elite wildcards gradually got reworked over time, and there were multiple new ways introduced to obtain them. People finally made peace with them because having a currency specifically for the highest level only meant that no new levels would ever be added, as explicitly promised by Supercell multiple times. Level 15 was promoted as the final milestone, the ultimate achievement. Players could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. The progression system was improved bit by bit, and the update for losers was released in 2023. Initially receiving an enormous amount of hate and ridicule, it was later begrudgingly accepted by the community, as it genuinely helped newer players in maxing out their cards at a somewhat reasonable pace. Regardless of these improvements though, maxing out all your cards was still a distant fantasy for new players, something way beyond their reach that would only be pushed further and further away with each new card release. The update for losers was particularly hated because it made the Pass Royale progression more complicated and significantly more expensive, while simultaneously reducing the rewards players received. But on Supercell's side of the argument, the progression was made easier through the season shop, so in their eyes, it was completely justified. This implied that the season shop was a permanent fixture of the game moving forward, right? Wrong. On the 7th of April 2025, the season shop got abruptly removed from the game without warning. The game had reached the pinnacle of its success by early 2025, beating all other Supercell games by a massive landslide in terms of revenue and actual players. The time was perfect for Supercell to maximize their revenue and make a giant quick buck off their loyal fanbase. Hatred showered from everywhere: Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and especially the comment sections on YouTube posts and every future announcement to come. It has been almost 8 months since the removal of the season shop, and you will still find thousands of people begging Supercell to bring it back in every single community post. The issues were never properly addressed by the development team, and we often are rage-baited into thinking they would eventually bring it back. While everyone in the community was completely obsessing over the season shop removal, Supercell cleverly used this perfect opportunity to change the entire game by quietly changing many other fundamental aspects of the game that players had come to rely on. Lucky drops were introduced at some point during the chaos, clearly inspired by the Brawl Stars mechanics, relying on the luck-based dopamine system that leaves people constantly hungry for the next drop. It's the same psychological trick used by casinos and loot box systems. Traditional chests were completely removed from the game too, and lucky drops were then replaced with lucky chests, essentially the same rewards as before, if not objectively worse. The change was purely cosmetic, but made the reward system feel even more predatory and gambling-oriented. Merge Tactics was introduced out of nowhere, seemingly targeting a very niche segment of players. Absolutely no one asked for this game mode, it just mysteriously made its way into the game. It was super hyped up by Supercell's marketing team, but turned out to be extremely underwhelming and entirely luck-based as a concept. Most players tried it once or twice and just never touched it again. Global tournaments got completely removed from the game, and the community has been absolutely furious about that as well. These tournaments were one of the few remaining skill-based modes where free-to-play players could compete on an even playing field. None of these significant changes have been properly addressed or explained by the team, showing a clear monopoly over the entire situation and a complete disregard for community feedback. And I hate to say it, but this is what Supercell always does. Trade tokens have been long forgotten by most players. You still might have some saved up if you're an old player from the early years. There's no way to obtain them anymore, and they'll likely soon be scrapped entirely as well. Another feature for progression, down the drain, removed without explanation. Throughout the entirety of 2025, we have witnessed some of the most broken and versatile evolutions ever released. Cards that fit perfectly in literally every deck composition. Coincidence? I think not. These evolutions were so absurdly broken that you could put them in any random deck and you'd instantly have the meta deck of that particular month. The card would soon be nerfed into the ground after everyone bought or grinded for it, and you'd end up needing to buy the brand new evolution the very next month to stay competitive. Another brilliant strategy for filling the already deep pockets of Supercell executives. Instead of making the existing features complete and satisfying in themselves, they kept adding new and half-baked features that required consistent attention and engagement. The game stopped being fun and started feeling like a second job. Recently, the entire concept of champions was fundamentally reworked, now allowing multiple champions on the board at the same time. Doesn't this just mean that we effectively get another new type of card to grind for, which means significantly much more cards to upgrade without actually adding substantial value or depth to the game's strategy? All these changes throughout 2025 hinted very clearly at a single thing. There was still an enormous amount of money to be made from this player base. Players will continue to play the game regardless of whatever controversial changes Supercell decides to make. And Supercell knows this better than anyone. Throughout 2025, here's what's happened when you strip away all the marketing speak and examine the facts. Progression has dramatically slowed down for the average player, and pay-to-win mechanics have been aggressively promoted at every turn. Features have been added specifically to keep you glued to the game for hours each day, whether you're actually having a good experience or not. Player retention through psychological manipulation became the clear priority over player satisfaction. And for the grand finale update of 2025, we have the announcement. Level 16. Previous promises of no new card levels are completely broken without apology. The level cap has been successfully removed, which will almost certainly mean more levels being added in the future, level 17, 18, and beyond. Magic books are being removed from the game, making progression even slower than it already was. Elite wildcards are gone, the very currency that was supposed to represent the final level. New players will need to spend literally thousands of dollars to upgrade quickly or keep grinding for years and years, while new levels keep getting added faster than they can keep up. It might seem like the game will finally collapse under the weight of these changes, and people will stop playing en masse, but this exact scenario is what happened an endless number of times before throughout Clash Royale's history, and somehow people remained glued to the game. Whatever controversial update Supercell throws at us, we'll eventually gulp it down and accept it as the new normal. Sometimes we'll revolt loudly for months on end until they give us something even worse to revolt about. and the cycle continues. So what's the good side of this argument? What are the actual benefits of there being a level 16? Well, we'll finally get level 16 Mirror, which will give us level 17 cards on the field, the highest level of cards ever seen in the game. Players who are able to quickly level up using Infamous Credit Card Cycle will have tons of fun bullying lower-leveled players in ladder matches, and most obviously, Supercell will make absolutely tons of money from this update, probably breaking their own revenue records. The bad side: this update really doesn't add any genuinely new features to the game. Unlike adding a new town hall does to Clash of Clans, which introduces new buildings, troops, and strategic possibilities, not to mention the new visuals and entire theme to your base. Level 16 in Clash Royale is just more numbers, higher stats, the exact same cards just with bigger damage values. Progression will just get drastically slower for everyone, especially newer players who will get completely discouraged from even starting the game when they realize just how far behind they are. Existing players will just get increasingly frustrated, having to level up their entire deck collections all over again after just finishing level 15. Content creators are exhausted and tired of having to level up their entire collection repeatedly for content creation purposes, spending thousands of dollars each update cycle just to keep making videos. But there's nothing we can realistically do about any of this. We're kinda tied down by the ropes of Supercell's monopoly, and there simply aren't many mobile games on the level of Clash Royale that threaten the company's dominance in this genre. This is exactly what happens when a monopoly in the gaming industry exists and goes unchecked. You keep facing bad update after bad update, reluctantly accepting them, desperately hoping things will somehow change for the better in the future. You've already spent quite a good amount of money on the game at this point, and well, you better keep your credit score high because you'll need to spend a lot more. That sunken cost fallacy is not going away. And to rub salt into the wound, we'll probably be seeing evolved champions very soon as well, adding yet another layer to the endless grind. Supercell's been dropping some mysterious hints, each one pointing to a glowing golden crystal, the same shape we've seen on evolution cards. Then yesterday, the teaser dropped and everything changed. Heroes are coming to Clash Royale, a whole new era is about to begin, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. The cycle never ends, level 16 is here and level 17 is inevitable. Welcome to the new era of Clash Royale. But this isn't all that Supercell does. They often add extremely overpowered cards just to shift the meta. Here are 31 cards that would absolutely break Clash Royale and might just be an update away. So I'll see you there.